explain what the event is intended to be about. It's obviously not a mass rally, but nevertheless, the intention behind Community of Cuts was very straightforward and very simple. It began simply as a campaign against the closure of the Foylville home, and from that campaign and through some of the meetings about that campaign, it became very apparent that there was more cuts, not simply about Foylville, but right across the board, through health, through education, through social services, through the community sector and so on. And it was generally felt that there was a need to raise awareness and to bring to the fore, if you like, the whole issue of cuts in our city and cuts in our communities, and to try and do something to raise awareness, try and do something about it. So the Community Against Cuts simply came up as a title which said we should all unite and we should all try and do something about what was happening in our society. And from that, we made it very clear from the outset that it was basically open to every organisation, every individual, every political party, regardless of their histories, regardless of their long-term points of view or solutions. But basically what we're saying at this moment in time, regardless of how we feel about our past or indeed our future, that we must all stand at least united and protect whatever services we do have and struggle for the resources that are needed in order to meet the issues that we're all dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And from that, the Community Against the Cuts began to expand and has at this point in time reached out across the entire city. And as part of the remit that we had, we said that to raise awareness throughout the city and throughout in the broader population, and indeed beyond the city, we needed to stage a number of events to try and attract popular support, I suppose if you want to call it that. And we thought about the possibility of having a conference. We tried some local area meetings. We had a number of small protests, and all of this was attempting to raise the issues and to raise awareness. And it was suggested some weeks back in the run-up to the election that the election itself proved potentially fertile ground for ideas that we were pushing forward, and it was suggested that perhaps in advance of the election that we would try to get all of the political organisations in the city to at least state their opposition to the cuts and to publicly, if you like, express that opposition. And so discussions were thought about, should it be simply candidates in the election, should it be large parties, should it be small parties, or any other kind of parties. And eventually it was just felt that, look, every organisation, every party has a political point of view and everybody's entitled to state it. Whether or not we agree with their wider platform, whether we agree with their behaviour, whether we agree with their tactics, they're at least, and we would ask whether or not people in this city united, regardless of what political party they come from, regardless of their traditions, that we could stand together at least on one thing and say that we want to resist the cuts that are hitting our health services, that are hitting our social services, that are hitting our education, right across the board. And so it was suggested that perhaps what we could do is have this type of an event, and to which we would invite every single party we can think of. And no doubt there will probably some party there that we have not, either that we haven't realised or whatever, and if we do, we apologise. But basically we drew up a list of all the parties we could think of, and we asked each and every one of them if they would attend the rally today, if they would simply and very, very briefly simply take the mic and say, whatever party they represent, we're here to stand and support the campaign against the cuts. It's not a political rally in the sense that we're giving people a platform for making political statements about their own parties, but simply to pledge their support for the campaign against the cuts. And symbolically, we have a board with the list up, and we have letters there saying, basically supporting the campaign against cuts, and asking people to sign the letters and so on. So it's a symbolism of the event, I think, and it's the symbolism in our view of the fact that if we can do this, we've managed to bring every shade of opinion, small and large, in this city together with a broad spectrum of community organisations, and together with the support of the trades union movement, which Community Against the Cuts took part in the Trades Council thing, that we brought them all together and stand hopefully as a united city saying that these cuts are not something we want, and that these cuts are something we will oppose in every way we can. So that's what this event is about. And in order, firstly, to just give you a very brief of the scope or scale, if you like, of the organisations who have been involved in this, Bill Condren, who's a community worker from the Waterside area of the city, will just maybe very briefly read out the list of organisations, and then what we intend to do is in alphabetical order simply say, is there someone here from this party who would just simply come forward, take the mic and say, on behalf of our party, we pledge ourselves to resist the cuts or fight the cuts, and the symbolism of that we're hoping to portray. So Bill will read out briefly the list of the organisations to date who have attended our meetings, who have assisted in our organisation, and we are aware in fact that there are organisations who are also now wanting, if you like, to sign up to this campaign. So we can start with Bill.
Now, you'll have to excuse my Irish, but Craigan Enterprise Limited, Craigan Neighbourhood Renewal Partnership, Craigan Parents and Toddlers, Fountain Heritage Tower, Nicule Narina, Wapping Lane Community Association, Rosemount Resource Centre, Women Together, Crockna Ross Old Boys, Treehouse Creche, Bluegrass Playgroup, Rosemount Youth Forum, Northwest Community Awareness on Drugs and Alcohol, Rosemount Residents Association, Maiden City Welfare Rights, Rosemount Area Women's Group, Our Generation, Derry Youth into Culture, Galia Community Development Group, Capel Court Residents Association, Tacna Fulcher, Families Against Drugs, Northwest Reconciliation Group, CAW 2000 Community Group, Clooney Estate Residents, New Buildings Community Association, Lettershindoney and District Development Group, Tullyallian District Development Group, Currynearn Community Association, Currynearn Youth Club, Foyle New Pan, The Whistle Project, Lincoln Courts Community Association, Jack and Jill Child Care. Citywise we have CAMS, Friends of Foyleville and Derry Trades Council.